Hello, everybody. Blaine Thiederman here with Progress Wealth Management. We're going to be talking a bit about how you can put together your plan to afford to buy the home that you hope to. What you're going to get out of this is some specific ideas of how to budget, how much to budget, and how to plan for that home that you dream of to go up in value. Because needless to say, that's the unfortunate reality with the way things are going these days. So let's get started here. So the first step is for everybody, pull up a house that's on Zillow, right? Now let's say we go into Denver and you pull up a house. The first question that people might ask is what do I look for in order to understand what's affordable and what's not? Let's say hypothetically, we pull up this house. This house is $775,000. Needless to say, it might be in your budget. It might not. With interest rates where they are today, probably in fewer people's budgets than it is most people's. So $775,000, it's 2,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths. So the first thing I'd recommend you look at is, once you pull up the house, you go over to monthly cost on Zillow. Monthly cost. And monthly cost is going to tell you, which, not a huge surprise, how much it would actually cost you to buy the house. Once you click the arrow, you'll see a down payment. Let's say you put down $200,000. That would make your monthly payment $3,974. That's a really high monthly payment, right? It's because property taxes and insurance are quite a bit. And the question is, well, who would that be affordable for? So once you've figured out, how much that house is actually going to cost you, from there, your next step is to figure out how much you can actually afford and how it's going to work. So let's say, for example, that $3,974 per month is your mortgage payment. Now that would end up meaning paying $47,688 a year. Now the rule of thumb is your total debt is no more than 33% of your take home. That means in order to afford this, you'd have to make $144,509. That's the very minimum, absolute minimum you can make. And the College of Financial Planning would say that this is affordable. Probably quite a bit more. So that would be the starting point. What's actually 33%? So step one, what's 33% of your pre-tax income? Well, step two, I'd also ask myself, what's the risk I'll be laid off and can't find a job within 6 months? Because needless to say, if there's a chance that you're going to be laid off, and finding a job in your skill set that pays the money you make can be really hard for some people. So if you got laid off and you couldn't find a job that would pay you $450,000 or more a year for possibly a year or two, instead of 33%, you should probably try to make that monthly payment closer to 20%. And I know that limits your options, but it's the reality that you live in. Right? Now from there, what if, let's say hypothetically, you didn't make this salary? What if you made $100,000 a year? That would end up meaning 33% of 100K equals $33,000 per year. That would end up putting you at $2,750 a month. That's how much you can afford as a monthly mortgage payment, right? So this would be your affordable, your high side affordable, high side of what's affordable for someone with your salary, right? Absolute high side, certainly lower than $2,750, but if it has to be $2,750, I guess that's okay as long as you're super frugal. Right? You're a rice and beans kind of person. Now from there, your next step would be to try to figure out, what houses will get me to that $2,750 a month. And so let's go back to Zillow. We go back to Zillow and we look at the monthly payment. What if this was a $600,000 place? And let's say you had $200,000 down, right? It's just over affordable for you. Probably have to get it at 220. All of a sudden, that's affordable. It's in the books. Now, I'm saving $220,000 is not easy. And a lot of people don't have 220 grand sitting around doing nothing. But the point of the matter being is, I'm here to show you the math. I'm not here to blame you or judge you by any means or measure. Now, let's say, what if, for example, you only had 100,000 down, or less even, as many people do right now? Well, $100,000. Our aim is to get it to 220,000. That would be $35.81 a month. So that's out of the budget. Goal is to get it to 220,000. And our plan is this house costs $600,000. So let's say you can save $2,000 a month or $24,000 a year, right? So $24,000 a year. Well, this is year 1, year 2, so on and so forth. So you have 100,000 saved right now. Now you know that you're able to make it in 1, 2, or 3 years. Means you should probably invest this 100 grand. So there's this formula called future value formula. And let's say you invest this money conservatively. Let's say you do it at 7%. Well, we know you can get there probably in about 4 years, but let's say 5 years because that house is going to go up in value. And you're going to be contributing $24,000 a year to it. The present value is $100,000. Or that would be $278,000 in 5 years. Is that enough? That's the question, because that sounds like it's enough, but don't forget, that house is going to go up in value too. Right? So this is going to be future value of your city, $278,000. What's the future price of the home you want to buy? Well, it's $600,000 today. Price today. If we take 600,000, future value, 600,000, you say 5 years. %, 5 years. Would be $765,000 5 years from now, because real estate in Denver goes up at about 5% a year, give or take, depends on the year. So then from there, we go back to this calculator in Zillow again. $765,000, $278,272. Still not at the budget. Oh no. Oh no. The hope is by then, no, you've gotten a couple raises. If you're now all of a sudden making 5 years from now 150 grand, this is in the budget. So the point of this exercise is to show everybody a bit about how the math would look and how a financial planner would think about your plan to afford this home. That's the goal of this exercise. Now, I hope this was valuable, but the main thing everyone should get out of this is first off, learn how to do the math. Because if you can do this on your own, then you don't have to hire somebody like me. And needless to say, the less money you spend on some professional services, the easier it is for you to save. At one point, it makes sense for everybody to hire out a professional. If there are little questions like this, I'm still happy to help for free if you'd like it. But if you feel like you can DIY this, by all means, I hope this exercise helped give you the tools and the know-how to figure out how to make this in the budget. All right. Now, if you have questions following this, please feel free to email me at blaine@progresswealthmanagement.com, or you can go into the Facebook group, Taxes and Financial Planning, which is, you go to facebook.com/groups/progress wealth. Again, feel free to email me or go into that group and ask a question if anyone wants any additional information. Appreciate everyone's time and good luck here with saving for that home. I know it's not an easy time. Thanks, everybody.